China is one of the oldest countries in the world, but it's more than just dragons, dumplings, and kung fu. In this video, we're going to explore the true story of China from ancient times to today in simple English. You'll learn about the Great Wall, powerful emperors, smart inventions, and what daily life is like for people in China. This is not a boring history lesson. This is a journey through one of the most exciting places on Earth. And don't worry if your English is not perfect. Every sentence is made for beginners, and by the end of this video, you'll learn English and Chinese culture at the same time. Let's begin where it all started thousands of years ago, by a river. Ancient origins. They say every great story starts with a river. And in China, that river is the Yellow River, the cradle of one of the oldest civilizations on Earth. More than 4,000 years ago, people built their homes near the river, planted crops, and began something amazing, a country that would last for thousands of years. At first, there were small villages with simple houses made of mud and wood. People fished, farmed, and made tools with stones and bronze. But soon, these small villages grew into kingdoms, and those kingdoms became dynasties. Let's start with the Xia dynasty, often called the first dynasty of China. Historians believe it began around 2,000 years before Christ, and although we don't have many written records from that time, many stories were passed down for generations. The people believed in a ruler named Yu the Great, who fought against floods and helped farmers live safely. That's how important water was and still is to the Chinese people. Then came the Shang dynasty, famous for its bronze work, animal sacrifices, and ancient writing. They didn't use the alphabet like we do today. Instead, they wrote with symbols called characters. And those characters started as simple drawings. For example, the word for sun looked like a circle with a dot inside, and the word for horse looked like a horse running with 4 legs. People carved these characters on bones and turtle shells to tell the future. Yes, you heard that right. They asked questions to the gods and heated the bones until they cracked, then read the cracks like a secret message. This was called oracle bone writing, and it was one of the earliest forms of Chinese writing. After the Shang, the Zhou dynasty ruled for hundreds of years. They believed that kings were chosen by heaven. If a king was good, heaven gave him power. But if he became greedy or cruel, heaven would take it away. This idea was called the mandate of heaven, and it was used to explain why new rulers took power. During the Zhou dynasty, people started thinking deeply about life, family, and rules. A man named Confucius was born, and his ideas changed Chinese culture forever. He said children must respect their parents, students must respect their teachers, and people must always try to be kind, honest, and fair. Even today, many Chinese people still follow his teachings. But China was not always peaceful. After the Zhou dynasty, many small states began fighting each other in a time called the Warring States period. It was a time of war and confusion, but also a time of new ideas. Many great thinkers shared their thoughts about how to create peace. Then, one man rose above the others, Qin Shi Huang. He became the first emperor of China in 221 BC. He united the warring states, gave them one language, one law, one set of measurements, and even built roads to connect the whole country. But he was also very strict and punished anyone who disagreed with him. To protect China from invaders, he started building a giant wall, not a little fence, but a wall so long that it could stretch over mountains, rivers, and deserts. This was the beginning of what we now call the Great Wall of China. The emperor wanted to live forever, so he drank potions and built a secret tomb filled with thousands of life-sized clay soldiers. These soldiers were meant to protect him in the next life, and you can still visit them today, the famous Terracotta Army. All of this, the river, the writing, the wall, began in China's ancient past, and it helped shape the country we know today. Inventions that changed the world. Imagine living in a world with no paper, no books, no fireworks, and no noodles. Now imagine that all of these things and more were invented in just one country. That country is China. Let's start with paper. Before paper, people wrote on bamboo, silk, or even bones. But these materials were expensive or hard to carry. Then, around 2,000 years ago, a clever man named Kai Lun made the first true paper using tree bark, rags, and old fishing nets. It was soft, cheap, and easy to use, and it changed the way people shared knowledge forever. Soon after, Chinese inventors created printing. Not the kind you see on modern printers, but blocks of wood with letters carved on them. They painted ink on the wood and pressed it onto paper. This helped people make many copies of books, stories, and even exams for students. Now let's talk about something more fun: fireworks. A long time ago, Chinese people mixed special powders to make medicine. But one day, they discovered a strange mix that exploded with fire and sound. They had accidentally created gunpowder. At first, people used it to scare away evil spirits during festivals. That's how fireworks began. Colorful explosions in the sky, red for happiness, gold for luck. And today, fireworks are used all over the world, but their story began in China. Another invention from China is the compass. Before the compass, sailors could only travel by the stars or the sun. But when the sky was cloudy, they got lost easily. Chinese scientists found that a magnetic needle could always point north, and they used this to build a compass. Thanks to this small tool, people could travel across oceans and explore new lands. Still hungry for more inventions? Let's talk about tea. According to legend, Emperor Shen Nong was boiling water under a tree. Some leaves fell into his pot, and he drank it by accident. That was the first cup of tea. From that moment, tea became a big part of Chinese life, not just a drink, but a tradition. Now, here comes the best part: noodles. Yes, noodles were also born in China. The oldest noodle ever found is over 4,000 years old, made from millet and discovered in a clay bowl. Chinese people love noodles in soup, fried or cold with sauce. And today, noodles are everywhere. Italy has spaghetti, Japan has ramen, but China had them first. But it wasn't just about food or fireworks. China also invented the umbrella, the wheelbarrow, and even the first mechanical clock. Each of these inventions made life easier, smarter, or more fun. When you look around your room, think about it: books, umbrellas, even your phone's compass app. Many of these ideas started in ancient China, and that's why we say China didn't just build a wall. It built the tools that helped shape the modern world. Daily life in modern China. What is it really like to live in China today? Is it all skyscrapers, robots, and fast trains? Or are there also quiet towns, old traditions, and families eating together? The answer is both. Let's start in the big cities. Beijing, Shanghai, and Shenzhen are huge. Each has more people than the whole country of Australia. In the morning, streets are full of bicycles, buses, and cars. People rush to work, and students walk to school with backpacks and warm soy milk. Many people live in tall apartment buildings. Some families live together with grandparents, parents, and children, all in one home. Family is very important in Chinese culture. Even when people move far away for work, they try to visit their family during holidays. Children go to school 6 days a week. They learn Chinese, math, science, and English. After school, many students take extra classes or do homework until late. Education is taken seriously, And getting good grades is a big goal. Food is a big part of daily life. In the North, people love dumplings and noodles. In the South, you'll find rice and stir-fried dishes with vegetables and meat. Meals are often shared. Dishes are placed in the center, and everyone uses chopsticks to pick what they like. One special tradition is the family dinner. At night, families sit around a round table, laugh, talk, and eat together. They might drink tea, eat steamed fish, and finish with sweet fruit. But not everyone lives in a city. In the countryside, life moves slower. Farmers grow rice, tea, and vegetables. Children run in the fields, old men play chess under trees, and neighbors help each other like one big family. Modern China is full of change. Young people love shopping online, using apps like WeChat to chat and pay for everything. At the same time, they still respect old values like listening to elders and being polite in public. In China, it's common to see an old temple next to a new shopping mall. People might wear sneakers and jeans but still follow ancient customs during festivals. It's a country where old and new live side by side. So, whether you're in a busy train station or a peaceful village, daily life in China is full of hard work, family, tradition, and fast change. It's not perfect, but it's real and always moving forward. Language and symbols. Let's talk about something truly special: the Chinese language. It's one of the oldest languages in the world, and also one of the most beautiful and complex. Unlike English, Chinese doesn't use letters from A to Z. It uses characters, thousands of them. Each character is like a small picture. One symbol can show an idea, a sound, or a word. For example, the word for mountain looks like a mountain with 3 peaks. The word for person looks like someone walking. Isn't that fun? It's like drawing and writing at the same time. But here's the tricky part. Chinese is a tonal language. That means the same word can have different meanings based on the sound or pitch. Let's take the word ma. If you say it high and flat, it means mother. If you say it rising, like asking a question, it means hemp. If you say it falling and then rising, it means horse. And if you say it short and sharp, it means to scold. So yes, in Chinese, your tone really matters. But don't worry with practice. Your ear will learn. Many students start learning Chinese with pinyin. That's a way to write Chinese sounds using English letters. It helps beginners read and speak before learning the characters. Now, let's look at something fun: the Chinese dragon. In Western stories, dragons are usually scary and dangerous. But in Chinese culture, dragons are lucky, powerful, and wise. They bring rain for the crops and protect people from bad luck. Another important symbol is the color red. Red means happiness, luck, and celebration. That's why you see red lanterns, red envelopes, and red clothes during festivals. Chinese calligraphy is also a big part of the culture. It's not just writing, it's art. People practice writing characters with a brush and ink, slowly and carefully, like painting. And yes, writing in Chinese takes time. But once you start, you'll feel like you're building a picture with each stroke. So whether it's the sound of nang hua or the look of a character for love, the Chinese language is more than words. It's a way of thinking, feeling, and connecting, full of history, beauty, and meaning. Culture and celebrations. What makes a place feel alive? It's not just buildings or food. It's the culture, the stories, and the way people celebrate together. And in China, celebrations are big, colorful, loud, and full of meaning. Let's start with the most important one: the Chinese New Year. Chinese New Year is not just one night. It lasts 15 days, starting in January or February, based on the moon. Before the new year, families clean their homes to sweep away bad luck and make space for good luck. On New Year's Eve, families gather for a big dinner. They eat dumplings for wealth, fish for abundance, and rice cakes for success. After dinner, children receive red envelopes filled with money from parents and grandparents. This is called lucky money. At midnight, the sky lights up with fireworks. Why? Because long ago, a monster named Neon would come down from the mountains every New Year to scare people. But one day, the villagers discovered that Neon was afraid of loud sounds, fire, and the color red. So, they lit firecrackers, wore red clothes, and danced under red lanterns, and it worked. That's how the Chinese New Year celebration began. Now, let's talk about the Lantern Festival. On the last night of Chinese New Year, people hang red lanterns outside their homes and write wishes on them. At night, streets glow with light, and children carry lanterns in all shapes, animals, flowers, and even cartoon characters. Another special holiday is the Mid-Autumn Festival. It happens when the moon is big and bright, usually in September. Families eat mooncakes, which are round like the moon and filled with sweet paste or egg yolk. They sit outside, look at the moon, and tell the story of Chang'e, the moon lady who lives far away but watches over Earth. There's also Dragon Boat Festival, where people race long boats shaped like dragons. They eat sticky rice wrapped in bamboo leaves called zongzi. This holiday remembers a poet who jumped into a river, and people threw rice into the water to feed the fish and protect his body. During these holidays, you'll hear music, see lion dances, smell delicious food, and feel the strong bond of family and tradition. And here's something special even in modern cities, where people use smartphones and shop online. They still take time to visit home, cook together, and honor old customs. Culture is not something kept in museums. It lives in the hearts of people, passed down like a favorite story told again and again. So whether it's fireworks in the sky, red lanterns glowing at night, or a sweet bite of mooncake under the stars, Chinese celebrations are full of joy, family, and meaning. Challenges and changes. Every country has problems. And even a powerful country like China faces many challenges, especially today. But what makes China interesting is how fast it changes. Let's begin with the cities. China has some of the largest cities in the world. Skyscrapers rise quickly, subways stretch for hundreds of kilometers, and high-speed trains travel faster than airplanes. But all this growth also brings problems. Traffic jams are a daily problem in many places. Air pollution from factories and cars can make the sky look gray. In winter, some cities have heavy smog, and people wear masks to protect their lungs. To solve this, China is building more green spaces and using more clean energy. There are huge solar farms in the deserts and wind turbines on the hills. China now makes more solar panels than any other country. Another challenge is the environment. Some rivers are dirty from waste. Some forests have been cut down for buildings. But now, China is planting millions of trees, building parks, and trying to clean the rivers and lakes again. Then there's the question of jobs. In big cities, people work very hard often, 12 hours a day, 6 days a week. Young people feel a lot of pressure to succeed. Many of them study from morning until night to pass exams and get a good job. And while the cities grow fast, some small towns and villages are being left behind. Old people stay in the countryside, while young people move to the city for work. This means some villages are very quiet now, and old traditions may disappear. But technology is also helping. Farmers use drones to check crops. Villagers can sell their products online using phones. And students in small towns can now learn from online teachers through apps. Another big change is in the culture. Young Chinese people love Western music, movies, and fashion, but they also try to balance it with Chinese traditions, wearing hanfu, learning calligraphy, and celebrating ancient festivals. It's not easy. Sometimes change is fast, and people feel lost between the old and the new. But many believe China can find its own way, keeping its deep roots while growing tall like a strong tree. So, yes, China has challenges, but it also has ideas, action, and the will to keep moving forward. That's what makes the story of China not just interesting, but inspiring. Unique things. Only in China. China is full of surprises, and many things you see there simply do not exist anywhere else in the world. Let's start with one of the most loved animals on the planet, the giant panda, which can only be found in China's bamboo forests, especially in the Sichuan province. Pandas are protected like national treasures, and there are special parks where people can watch them eat bamboo, sleep all day, or roll around like big teddy bears. Now let's talk about something fast. China's high-speed trains, which are the fastest in the world and connect cities across the country in just a few hours. These trains travel up to 350 kilometers per hour, and you can ride smoothly from Beijing to Shanghai in less than 5 hours. It's cleaner than flying, smoother than driving, and so quiet that you can take a nap without even noticing the speed. Technology in China is everywhere, and one of the most unique parts of daily life is mobile payment. In most places, people no longer carry cash or cards because everything is paid through apps like WeChat Pay or Alipay. You can buy noodles, pay for a taxi, shop for clothes, and even give tips to a street musician just by scanning a QR code with your phone. This makes life faster, easier, and safer, even for older people who quickly learn to use phones. Now let's look at something fun: karaoke. In China, karaoke is not only for parties, but also for relaxing after work or having fun with family. People rent private rooms, order snacks and drinks, and sing their favorite songs for hours, from old love songs to modern pop hits. Even grandparents sing proudly while their grandchildren cheer and clap along. Another amazing thing is food delivery, which is faster and more popular than in many other countries. Using your phone, you can order hot pot, fried rice, bubble tea, or fresh fruit, and have it delivered in less than 30 minutes. Delivery drivers ride electric bikes and wear colorful jackets, moving through the city like bees in a busy hive. And this fast service works in big cities and even in smaller towns. China also created many apps that became world famous, and one of the biggest examples is TikTok. In China, it's called Douyin, and it started as a short video app where people dance, cook, and share funny or creative moments. Now, it's used by millions around the world, all from an idea born in China. Let's not forget about Singles Day, on November 11th, which has become the world's biggest online shopping event. People buy clothes, electronics, toys, and even cars, all through their phones with huge discounts and fast delivery. It's like Black Friday, but even bigger, and it all happens in just 24 hours. Even the public toilets in China are surprising, especially in modern cities, where they often have music, warm seats, automatic cleaning, and even sensors to check if the toilet is clean. It may sound funny, but it shows how much attention is given to comfort and technology in daily life. So whether it's pandas, payment apps, karaoke rooms, or high-speed trains, China offers experiences that are exciting, different, and sometimes hard to believe. All of these small details make China a country that's not just ancient and traditional, but also creative, modern, and full of unexpected surprises. Let's slow down for a moment and hear a story. A true, simple story that shows something special about China. It's not about emperors, fireworks, or famous walls. but about people and the kindness you don't see in history books. There was a young traveler named Sam who had never been to China before. He arrived in a busy city, tired, confused, and hungry, and he didn't speak a single word of Chinese. He had no internet, no translation app, and no idea how to order food. Sam walked into a small noodle shop and stood silently, pointing at pictures on the wall. The owner, an old man with a warm smile, didn't speak English either, but he noticed Sam's lost face and nervous hands. Without any words, the man pointed to a chair, poured a cup of hot tea, and cooked a warm bowl of beef noodles. He even gave extra dumplings for free and used hand gestures to show how to mix the sauces. Sam was so moved that he nearly cried. There were no fancy decorations, no music, and no conversation, just one kind man helping a stranger in need. After eating, Sam placed some cash on the table and bowed slightly in thanks. The old man laughed, patted his shoulder, and gave him a thumbs up. That moment stayed in Sam's heart forever. It was a reminder that kindness doesn't need translation. It doesn't care about borders, flags, or language. It speaks through actions, through small things, through smiles and shared food. And that's the real China, not just big history, but everyday humanity. Behind the Great Wall and busy streets, there are kind hearts and warm hands ready to help. So, when you think about China, remember the inventions and festivals, the dragons and fireworks, but also remember the noodle shop. Because sometimes the smallest stories are the ones that mean the most. Now you've taken a journey through the story of China, and maybe you see the country in a whole new way. It's not just about emperors, old temples, and ancient inventions. It's also about people living their daily lives, facing challenges, and creating new ideas every day. We started thousands of years ago by the Yellow River, where small villages grew into powerful dynasties. We learned how China gave the world paper, printing, fireworks, tea, and noodles, things we still use today. We saw how modern China moves fast with trains, phones, and apps, yet still holds on to traditions like calligraphy, red envelopes, and mooncakes. We heard how a simple meal in a small noodle shop can tell a story more powerful than a textbook. You learned English today, but more than that, you saw the heart of a country. A place full of contrast, color, and connection. A place that is always moving forward, but never forgetting the past. So the next time you see a Chinese character, taste a dumpling, or hear the sound of fireworks, remember the journey you took today. It wasn't just a lesson in language. It was a real story, told in simple words for curious minds just like yours. If you enjoyed learning English through China's story, hit subscribe and keep the journey going. Your next adventure is waiting. Just click the next video on the screen.